Hey, what's up, vinyl community and YouTube land? Kendall Stokes coming at you with another video for the Spin Doctor and his Vinyl Mayhem channel. It's been a couple weeks since I've done my last video, so I figured it's time to do it again. And the reason I took a little bit of a break was, one, the holiday, July 4th. Today's July 10th, so it's been a week almost. And then also, I was kind of wanting to listen to a lot of music. And so here comes the story. So my good buddy, Doug Osbury, from the Wilmington area, who also runs Big Love Vinyl online. And also, you'll see him at the record bar. I've mentioned him many times, obviously. He's a good buddy of mine. He was telling me, he's like, you really need to try to get into jazz music. And I was like, it's just, I've struggled with that in the past. Because he knows what I like. I mean, he knows that I'm a big fan of all kinds of music. He's like, but you need to give jazz a try. And so I finally told him, I said, well, I think if I were to do it, I'd probably want to get into guitar jazz, or at least start there, because I'm a huge fan of guitar. I play a little, very, very little, but I play a little. And I'm a huge fan of, guitar-based bands and guitar players like Clapton and Hendrix and Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, the list goes on and on. There's so many great guitar players out there. And so he's like, okay. And so he suggested to this little thing that we have going on the side on Facebook Messenger. He's like, hey guys, let's come up with some jazz albums that we think Kendall might like, and send them to him, or at least say, hey, listen to these, and he can report back to us. And Doug actually went as far as sending me some records, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. So that kind of blew up a little bit. Had some people messaging, say, hey, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. And so I was like, all right, here we go. What am I going to do? Well, I went to Noble Records and talked to Dylan. Shout out to Noble, wearing the shirt. And I talked to Dylan as well. I said, hey man, I want to try to get into jazz, and I've had some people say, this, this, and this. I said, but what about you? Because Dylan, I've been buying from him for a while now, so he knows kind of what I buy and what I like. And he said, well, hey, a really good jazz record is Undercurrent by Bill Evans and Jim Hall. I'm brain dead on his name all of a sudden. He said, I don't have a copy of it, but he said, it's a really good record. I mean, it's a great jazz record. He said, now there's not as much guitar as there is piano, because Bill Evans is a piano player, which, I knew who Bill Evans was, obviously. You can't not go to a record store, especially on a record store day, and not know who Bill Evans is, because they always put out a bunch of his stuff on record store day. And plus, a lot of the other videos I watch talk about Bill Evans a lot. So I was like, okay, yeah. And they said also, there's guys like Grant Green, Kenny Burrell, Wes Montgomery. I was like, yeah, I've heard of those guys, and I've heard, I think, some. He's like, okay, well, definitely start with that, that, and kind of just go from there. So I started streaming stuff first, and then I was like, okay, this is sounding pretty good, listening to some Bill Evans. Really started to get into Bill Evans after I listened to that Undercurrent album. And so that kind of started me down a little bit of a rabbit hole. All right, Bill Evans. And who does he play with? Well, he's played with a lot of people. Yeah, I listened to Kind of Blue for the very first time because Bill Evans is on that record. I was like, oh, wow, and thought it was really good. Obviously, it's like the #1 selling jazz album of all time. I'd never heard it before. Finally did. I really liked it. And there are a lot of great players on there. And like I said, I went to Grant Green, and I went to Kenny Burrell, and, saw that Kenny Burrell played with John Coltrane. I was like, that's a great record. Listen to that one. He also played with Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith, a great organist. And I really got into that probably the most, along with just Bill Evans, because Bill Evans, I just went down that rabbit hole and just kept going and going and going, which you'll see here in just a little bit. And so I really got into Jimmy Smith and Kenny Burrell. and that's going to lead me into what I'm doing here. So these records are records that I've gotten in the last 2 weeks plus, over time. And some of them I got from the Record Bar on the Thursday night show. Some I got from Noble Records. A couple were sent to me by my good buddy Doug, and the rest are ones that I got here and there. So the first record that I'm going to show that I've listened to was The Incredible Guitar of Wes Montgomery. Now this record, you're probably going, doesn't look right. That's not the right cover. And that's because it's a reissue on Pan Am Records. On the back, you actually see the correct one. But yeah, so this is a reissue. Came out not that long ago. I think it was pressed somewhere in Europe. But I had people tell me that, be careful of the record labels that you get of reissues of jazz records, because they're really not great. Wax Time, DLO or DOL. This is one that not many people have heard of, the Pan Am. And this is what I'll say about it. It's not a terrible pressing, but I will say it does sound like there's like a glass wall in front of your system. And so like it definitely sounds like you're not getting the full oomph that you can get from what's being played. Not terrible, and I mean, it's not an expensive record either. It was cheap. But, really, really enjoy this album as a whole. But, so that was one that I ended up going with. And then this, like I said, I went down that Bill Evans hole. This is Bill Evans' solo. It's called Alone Again. Now, he had previously done an album called Alone, which I'm looking for. So if anyone has a copy of that they want to get rid of, let me know. It's because it's awesome. But this is Alone Again. This came out in the 70s. It's on the Fantasy label. It's an original pressing. It wasn't super expensive either. But it's just him on the piano, no other instruments, and it sounds really, really good. Good record, probably very underrated of all of his records, but again, he has so many. So I was really happy to get this. Sounds great. Then while I was at Noble, I ended up getting this. This is Bill Evans, The Brilliant. It's a music on vinyl pressing. It came out not that long ago. There's only 750, I believe, of these. This is number 345. It's on like an orange vinyl, if I remember correctly. Gold vinyl, sorry. But this actually is from 2 separate nights live in San Francisco. And what's really cool about this is that the last night that he played was his very last ever live performance, because he died 7 days later. So yeah, but I mean, it actually sounds really good. I know a lot of people say, oh, music on vinyls are not real audiophile. I mean, it is not like, say, Analog Productions or Mo-Fi, but it's still good, really good quality. Was it from, it was a live recording, so was it from the original tapes that they had, or was it digital? Probably digital. But really great record. I really enjoy this record. It's not the trio, because the trio was done for by then, but there is a bass player and there is a drummer on this record. You don't hear them as well as you hear the piano, which it's Bill Evans. So, but this was a really, really great record. So really glad that I picked that one up. This obviously I think is probably a must for a lot of Bill Evans fans. This is not an original pressing. It's a reissue on the Riverside Jazz Classics line. So it's actually really, really good audio. It sounds really good. It's a great record. Everybody digs Bill Evans. Great record. If you haven't heard it and you're a Bill Evans fan, you probably have heard it, but if you haven't, definitely listen to it. It's really, really good. So I was really excited to get this. I actually got most of these at a discount price. They were having sales and I got really lucky. So super excited to get this one. There's a couple, like I said, I've gone down that Bill Evans rabbit hole now. And so now whenever I see a Bill Evans anywhere, I look at it and start contemplating, should I get this one? Because there's so many. And so you got to pick and choose. So Now this one right here is really, really awesome. It is Bill Evans Trio 65. This is an Analog Productions uh, pressing of this record on the Verve, the classic Verve, which I learned a lot about jazz pressings of records, and Verve was one of the huge ones that I ran into a lot. But this sounds amazing. It's all analog, you know, great pressing of this record. It's fairly new. It just barely came out. But great record. Really, really enjoyed this one, and I got it for a steal. And when I say a steal, Premium Sound in Charlotte is closing at the end of the month, and right now all their stuff's 20% off. This is normally like a $40 record. He had it already at a lower price, and then with the 20% off, like I said, I almost just walked out with that just because it was so cheap. So yeah, like I said, that's where I got with the Bill Evans records that I purchased, but I've been listening to a lot more Bill Evans. Now, to go with the guitar, because I'm sure you're thinking there was no guitar in any of that, except for Wes Montgomery, of course. Well, here we go. So, of course, you can't not get into jazz guitar without listening to two specific records. And the first one is Kenny Burrell, Midnight Blue. Now, this is a Blue Note Classic series, so it's all analog, and the quality is amazing. Sounds amazing. This is what made me go, you know what, I like Kenny Burrell, and I want to continue to dig down that hole of Kenny Burrell. Just amazing. I love the way he plays. I mean, he's got that kind of blues type of, he's like a blues type of player in my opinion. But really dig this record. Really, really like it. Listened to it a few times already. So super, super excited to have this record. If you want to get into guitar jazz, this is one of the first ones that you need to go to for sure. The other one as well, another Blue Note Classic series, Grant Green, Idle Moments. I don't like it as much as the Kenny Burrell, but still a fantastic record. Fantastic record. Grant Green, maybe a better guitar player than Kenny Burrell, but I mean, that's subjective. I mean, but his style isn't my favorite, but it's still awesome. I mean, it's a great sounding record. Like I said, again, that Blue Note Classics, they do a great job. And I mean, you can't beat the prices either. They are so cheap. I mean, getting a, original pressing or an early pressing of this, you're going to spend a lot of money, but you're spending 20 to 25 bucks on this. You can't go wrong with that. So, that's a lot of the stuff that I bought and purchased. And then, like I said, Kenny Burrell kind of went me down that rabbit hole, and I found Jimmy Smith, which, funny enough, Doug, he said, hey, these are the records that I want to send you. He sent me like a compilation of a bunch of different people, and he sent me Spyro Gyra, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a record that I had seen before, didn't know what it was, but it's like 80s fusion jazz, all instrumental. Not really my thing, Doug. Thank you for sending it. I'll probably be sending that one back, but thank you for definitely letting me check it out. But he also sent me these two. This one first, Jimmy Smith. Like I said, I went down that rabbit hole. Kenny Burrell, look at that, right there, Kenny Burrell. But Kenny Burrell plays on almost every Jimmy Smith record. He plays on so much of them, and so I really got into that. And plus, he's just a great organist in general. I will say I like his Blue Note stuff better than his Verve stuff. Now this is on Verve, again, that Verve. This is actually a German pressing too, kind of cool. But I like Kenny Smith's earlier stuff on the Blue Note label. I think just because he started to kind of maybe experiment a little more, and later vocals were added on like he started to bring in vocals on his songs, which I'm not a big fan of the vocals on his songs. Um, but this is a pretty good one. I appreciate Doug sending me this. Like I said, sounds good. I mean, one thing I've learned already is that jazz records, especially old pressings from like the '60s, the '50s, the quality is really really good. They're durable. They're last. They don't get scratched up real easy. 'Cause, I mean, this is super super clean. And it's not an expensive record either. They made a bunch of these obviously on Verve, but great record. The next one, this is the one that I was really excited about. Jimmy Smith and Wes Montgomery together, the dynamic duo. Again, Verve, but this one is really really good. Because I mean it's very very focused on the guitar and on the organ on this record, whereas something like this one, it's mainly focused on Jimmy with other players around him, and so they come in. But this one, because it's both of them together, there was a lot more focus on just them, and so very. I mean, it's very dynamic, as the title is. Great record, great record. So I was really excited that he sent me this one. Love this one. There's actually a song on here, and I can't remember what it's called, but I recognized it. I was like, man, I know this song. Where do I know it from? So I started thinking hard about it. I think it's either Down by the Riverside or Night Train. I think it's Night Train, but I recognized it. And the reason I recognized it is because it's on the movie Back to the Future. If anyone that knows me real good knows that I'm a huge movie buff, and I love Back to the Future. And when the Enchantment Under the Sea dance is happening, and Marvin Berry and his band are playing, some of the songs they're playing don't have vocals, and one of them is that one song that I'm sorry, I just butchered that, but that's on this record, and I was like, that's cool. See, I like jazz, and I didn't even know it already. But anyway, so super excited for this. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate you sending me some records. Now, the next few records that I'm going to show, I just picked up yesterday at Noble. Dylan had a little bit of a jazz drop, which I saw as a great opportunity for me. And, Noble Records can be very hit and miss with lines in the morning. And I needed to go to T-Mobile to get my phone looked at, but they didn't open until 10. Well, Dylan opens at 10 too. And so I'm like, well, crap. Because there was a couple things in there that I was like, I really, really want. And lo and behold, so did somebody else. My buddy Doug. He sent me a message. He's like, hey, a couple things in Noble Records flip video that I really, 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 really like and wouldn't mind having. And lo and behold, it was the same two records that I wanted. But I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, before I go to T-Mobile, let me just see what the line, like if there's a line out in front of Noble. And this was like around 9:30. I'm like, if there's a line, then I'd probably need to, park and get in line because I might miss out. Well, there was already two people in line. I'm like, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna park. So I got out and I started talking to the guys. They were both there for the Metallica. I was like, okay, well, I'm safe. So then some guys started to get in behind me. They were there for the jazz. And they were there for the same record that I was there for. Which again, I will talk about in a second. First, what I found and wanted was this. The incredible Jimmy Smith. Now this is, or the home cooking, the incredible Jimmy Smith. This is an early, this is a Blue Note Classic series, but this is one of his early albums that I really, 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 really liked. Again, Kenny Burrell on guitar. Just So good. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Booker T and the MGs, I believe they're called. I'm going brain dead. But anyway, so I was really excited to get this for a really good price because it was used, not brand new. And again, it's the Blue Note Classic series, so it came out just like last year. And Dylan said, "Yeah, the guy that I got all these jazz records from, he kept everything in great shape. Most of the stuff had maybe been played once." I was like, "Okay, cool." So great record. Um, One that I would definitely recommend to, again, people getting it that want to get into jazz. This is a good one, I think. Really excited to have it. And then this right here is another one. Now this actually is an original Blue Note. Uh, this is a 61 mono pressing of this record. Midnight Special, Jimmy Smith. Again, Kenny Burrell plays on this. So super excited to have this. Again, this is an original on that Blue Note. Really heavy duty, thick record. Again, scratches, no. Just really good quality. You know, Dylan was telling me, he said, you know, Blue Note records, they made those things to be pretty much indestructible. He said, even if there's marks on them, then you won't even notice them. I was like, well, okay, well, that's cool. Got this at a really good price. Again, it is an original, which I thought was cool. It's 61. The album came out in 61, even though it was recorded in 1960. But this is a great record, really great record. There's one more Jimmy Smith that I really want, and I can't think of what it's called, but it's the one where he's like sitting on like a bale of hay with a dog, and there's like a cage of chickens behind him. I can't remember what it's called, but that's the next one that I want to get from Jimmy Smith. So, all right. Now the next two records are the ones that I went there for to begin with, and those are the ones that Doug also wanted. And I picked them both up, like I said. And the last one I'm going to show you is the one that the guys behind me actually wanted. But the first one was this one right here. Blue Lights, Volume 1, Kenny Burrell. And this is a Japanese pressing on the Blue Note again. Japanese 70s Japanese pressing, I believe. Really great condition. Doug said that he has a copy of this record, but it's got a huge scratch down it. Well, this one, Doug, is in perfect shape, pretty much. The vinyl. It's super, super clean. So you won't be disappointed in this. I went ahead and I cleaned it, you know, and I put it in these nice sleeves, the MoFi sleeves and all that stuff for Doug, because I'm going to mail it to him. The reason I decided not to keep these two records for myself is because Doug, being a good friend and all, has sent me records in the past. And, you know, him living all the way out by the beach, he can't get down to Noble every week like I can for Dylan's great drops. And so when he said that he wanted these records, he was, you know, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get these records for Doug and I'm going to send them to him. So, but this right here, great record. I've not listened to the actual record. I've streamed it. Phenomenal. I do need to get a copy of this. Doug, you were so lucky that I'm giving these two records, or that I got these two records and decided to go ahead and pass them on to you, because it's tough not to keep them myself. But the last one was probably the one, like I said, this is the one that everyone wanted, and I was looking to get it. Bill Evans, Portrait in Jazz. This is also a Japanese pressing. Those two, yes, they don't have the OB strips. Well, whatever. I mean, yeah, the OBs look cool, but you don't need the OB strip. The record still plays, you know. But this is a white label promo on the Riverside label. Again, 73 pressing. This album is one that probably everybody I talked to, that when I told them I was wanting to listen to jazz, this is one of the ones that they always mentioned. It is a phenomenal record. Amazing sounding. Bill Evans is just a genius, all right? I don't know how I didn't get into him sooner, but he's just a genius. So this is a great record, great sounding record. I cleaned it, put it in these nice sleeves for Doug. Doug, I know you will enjoy those two records immensely. Um, I'm probably going to be kicking myself down the road going, why didn't I keep those for myself? But Doug, you're a good guy, and I appreciate what you do for me. So I hope you take good care of them, which I know you will. You take good care of your records, I know, and you cherish stuff like that. So enjoy, buddy, because I know you have both of those records, but not in as good a quality as those two. So yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of where I was with the whole jazz. I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm still going. I'm still going, and I don't know why I didn't get into this before. It's good stuff. I mean, really good stuff. Like I said, where I'm at for me are probably right now Bill Evans, Kenny Burrell, and Jimmy Smith are like kind of where I've hit my mark. I will say I've been paying a lot more attention to the Blue Note stuff, getting on their website and learning more about records that they have that are going to be coming out, the reissues, Analog Productions and Acoustic Sounds. I know they do a lot of stuff, and I've been paying close attention to them as well. There's going to be some good albums being reissued here on good labels that are going to be great sound quality in the future, and I'm excited about that. The jazz bug has bitten me thanks to my friends Doug and Dylan at Noble and all that. So very excited to keep going down and learning more, because that's the thing, I'm learning so much about so many of these people, you know, and you know, like the life of Bill Evans or the life of Jimmy Smith, the life of Kenny Burrell, who's still alive, by the way, 90 plus years old. You know, pretty cool. So Doug, thank you for getting me hooked. Lindsay may not be thanking you when she sees our bank account, but thank you for pushing me in that direction. I appreciate it. Guys, this was a long video, and I'm sorry. A lot of you probably won't finish this till the end, so I should have said that at the beginning. I do apologize, but I had a lot of fun going through these records and just kind of getting into jazz. So hopefully you stuck with it, and hopefully you are a jazz fan now too, or will become one. If you liked the video, which you probably didn't, please like and subscribe and leave me some comments. Tell me what your favorite jazz records are. Give me some recommendations that I don't know about, and tell me why you like them and why you think I might like them. I would appreciate it. This channel, like I said, I haven't made a video in a while, but I really love this channel, and I want to get it bigger and bigger. I want the conversation to get bigger and bigger. So please like and subscribe, share, tell your friends, do whatever. I appreciate it. You know, I hope to hear from you guys. In the meantime, until my next video, you know, look into those albums, stream them, buy the records. I'm sure your record store owners will be happy if you do. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.